It's not often that review movies that are on streaming services. This one deserves it. The Gorge, starring, get the names right, Miles Teller and Anya Taylor-Joy. You know her. She's been in quite a few things like The Menu, and there were a few other good flicks. She does exceptionally well in horror movies. The Gorge is kind of like a sci-fi action type horror movie, and it was so good. My lady and I really enjoyed it when we were watching. We were like, wow, this was a good story. And what's that story about? It's on. You can see it on Apple TV Plus, and it's about this gorge, this huge like trench that is being guarded, right, by both East and West, by the Western Front, the United States, and by Russia. Okay, and there's Anya Taylor-Joy plays a woman that has been hired to guard and protect the Russian side, while Miles Teller, whose name is Levi Kane, is guarding the United States side, right? And they're not supposed to have any kind of contact with each other whatsoever. Now, that's kind of hard to do because they're the only ones there, right? They relieved a person that was guarding on that side, and you know, you see how these two eventually start talking to each other, sending up like cards, and they would look through binoculars to see what they're reading off of each other, and that lasted for quite a few months actually. They didn't like meet, but they weren't even supposed to do that. But what the point of them even being there was to guard the world against some dark secret within the gorge, within that trench, right? Underneath there, deep down. And, they're supposed to keep something down there from coming out. And you realize what they are. They're these mutated beings. I think some of them were even human at one point. And you see these monsters coming out. And it's not just mutated humans, it's mutated animals of other sorts too that you see in this movie. And in the midst of that, these two develop a connection, a relationship, and you jump into that with them. The guy is sent there by this woman who's the head of this secret government corporation that's supposed to protect. And this woman, funny enough, is Sigourney Weaver, and she kind of plays kind of like the antagonist in this movie. She plays a more sinister role, which is kind of ironic considering the Alien movies. She plays the good guy against the corporate baddies. She seemed like the corporate baddie in this one, so I thought that was pretty cool. But what I really enjoyed the most about this film is not just the monsters and everything, but the relationship between these two people, the way they connected. It becomes a romance. They fell in love, right? And they do whatever it is they can to protect each other and to take care of each other in the midst of this time that they are staying there. It's an amazing, like, God, it's hard to describe, but the action is great. The monsters are badass. Great effects. Some of it is, I think, even prosthetic. Of course, there's CGI, something like that. You gotta have it, but it wasn't centered on that really. It was just centered on these people, and that's when you know a story is good. When the story is, even though it has zombies or monsters or creatures or whatever, when it becomes people centric, when the characters go front line and they're not just a side note, they become the heart of the story. Okay, both of them were kind of like a little bit of a on the selfish tip, but that was how they had to be. Both of them were, if I'm correct, hired assassins in most of their careers, and they didn't have anyone really connected to. I mean, Anya Taylor-Joy's character had a dad, and you see the dad in this, and there's a plot element there regarding her relationship with her father. that's very deep. But aside from that, this, she's a killing machine. She's good with a gun. All right, and so is this guy. So they make quite a blow 'em up couple, if you can say that. And when they eventually find out, because they're not told what's really down there, but when they find out themselves what's down there, it comes to the point where they're faced with a decision about whether or not they should just continue to do their jobs or do something about it. Because this thing has been going on for decades, since the end of the Second World War. So I don't want to give away too much, but they discover, let's just say they discover what the Gorge is about, and the whole point of people having to be there is about. I mean, you see clues of it throughout the film. So you see snippets of it and you be like, wow, what's that about? What's that about? Like this guy, he finds a whole bunch of like quotes and signatures from past guardians, I guess you could call them, from the past, dating all the way back to the 1940s, behind a cabinet or a shelf. And what's that about? Well, you eventually find out in the movies. So I would recommend this movie if you're not doing anything at home and you want to see something on the streaming service and you have Apple TV Plus. Watch The Gorge. I'm gonna give The Gorge 4 coffee cups. Excellent movie, suspenseful, action packed. Right. So if you're all about the monsters and how people deal with that and what they're gonna do about it, and the situations that you're thrown in, and how you're gonna like handle this, and whether or not you can survive it, and will they survive it? Do they survive it? Watch the movie and you'll see what happens. It's an amazing, great, awesome story. All right? So watch it, come back, talk to me, comment below, and share with me what you think about The Gorge, available on Apple TV Plus. A sci-fi horror love story. In essence, is what it is, and you end up caring about both characters, and you want both of them to make it out. Do they? Watch the movie and you'll see. Speaking of loves, my lady had made this prototype of a horror and coffee hat. Right? It's a prototype. It's the first of its kind. I'm wearing it, and let me know what you think in the comments below, if this is something you would like to wear or see more of in the channel, okay? Because Horror and Coffee continues on with horror movies, with live streams, and with all that kind of stuff. If you want to support the channel, there's a Buy Me a Coffee. I will put the link below, as well as a store that already has cool stuff like t-shirts, hats, and stickers. So please consider subscribing one more time. I know I sound like I'm begging at this point, but in any case, enjoy this channel. I hope you like it. And until the next horror movie, 4 coffee cups, go watch The Gorge. Let me know what you think. This is Ralph Perez, Horror and Coffee. Take care.